Hi guys, welcome back to episode of DB Cars, and today's episode I'll be showing you guys TribeCar Citroen C4 Cactus. Let's dive straight to this video right now. Alright then, so here is guys the TribeCar Citroen C4 Cactus itself. So basically this is the vehicle itself. So basically I'll be running through with you guys the exterior damages there is for this vehicle before I show you guys the trunk space as well as the interior itself. So let me just start off with damages for the vehicle itself. So starting from the driver's side, there's no obvious damage which I can observe because this is still at the time of filming, this is still a brand new vehicle that's just been added to TribeCar fleet itself. But based on inspection of the rims on the driver's side, look like they are okay, no curve anything. So plus tire also seem to be in good condition, which is a very good thing for the vehicle. Moving towards the back, same thing, condition wise looks still okay, just maybe some scuff marks right there, and this is missing a hubcap itself, which it doesn't have at all. So missing the Citroen thing in the center itself, so that's one thing. Moving towards the back, also no obvious damage which I can observe, a good thing as well. And let's move on to the front of the vehicle itself. So moving towards the front of the vehicle, this is how the C4 Cactus look like. Very, it's like, I think this styling looked very similar to the Corona before the Corona even came out. So yeah, moving along, you got no windscreen chip at all, which is a good thing. But if you look very closely, there's some kind of UV ray that kind of penetrate to the sunroof, or no sunroof, sorry, the windscreen, which is like around, it's like in the center area where I don't know how it happened, but yeah, it got the UV ray right there itself. Passenger side rims looks okay, same go for the tire as well, and the back same thing, looks alright to me, so that's a plus point for that. Petrol tanks on the left hand side, which is a bit weird because normally for a continental car they'll be right behind the driver, but for this French car it's right behind the passenger side, same for Japanese car itself. So yeah, speaking of the styling for the C4 Cactus, in my opinion, when this car first came out, it looked extremely weird because of one thing, this thing right here itself. In my opinion, I'm like thinking, what is this, like this thing serve? So basically this thing is called an air bubble. So basically it meant to protect, basically let's say you have a passenger that opened the door without any care in the world, this would technically absorb the impact because it is like, basically there's a, I'm not too sure how does it works, but from the base of it, it looks like this is the bare metal skin which normally would bear the impact if let's say this wasn't here. So basically if this wasn't here, this would suffer the damage itself, but since this is usually the impact point for the doors itself, this plastic thing itself would absorb the impact itself, so apparently itself. So yeah, and that is same for the other side itself. Is I think the center point is usually where most of the impact will occur itself. So yeah, same for, basically it's like if let's say you were to hit that, this plastic thingy right here would bear the impact of it. And yeah, same go for door ding where people come beside you just open without any kind of work, this would basically absorb the impact itself. So yeah, and that's basically it for, oh yeah, another thing is unique about the C4 Cactus is there's no, you're not able to wind down the window for the rear. So I will show you guys later on how do you wind down the window for the rear itself, and that's basically it. I think one thing this car doesn't have is a sunroof, which you guys can see doesn't really have sunroof, but I think I saw online there is an option where you can actually put the sunroof on, but the downside is you can't cover the sunroof at all. Like usually there'll be a blind that cover up the sunroof. On the C4 Cactus, that's not an option. So yeah, you basically, if there was a pan roof here, the sun would just come in, and I think it'll be a greenhouse in this cabin itself. So yeah, and let me just show you guys the rear of the car right now. Oh yeah, let me just move it to over there, and I'll show you guys the trunk space. So let's dive straight to that right now. Alright then, now let me just show you guys the trunk space for the C4 Cactus. So basically to access the trunk space, usually right, the button right down below the emblem. Press on that, and the trunk release, and basically this is what you're being greeted with itself. And one thing I noticed straight off the bat is this area right here, where I can definitely see there'll be some struggle of, imagine if you got your luggage right here and you want to load it in, you have to clear this latch right here as well as the license plate itself, which is, in my opinion, very annoying itself. Plus, based off the trunk space, look, the amount of space wise, it also doesn't look promising at all, because not really much to put in. I think if I were to put in one large size suitcase, probably a 25-inch to 29-inch, I think it'll probably just swell up. They will just take up the entire space and you don't really have space left. The only option if you want to have more space is remove this plastic thing right here, the thing that cover up the luggage. You just remove this and probably put it maybe in the rear seat if you got no passengers. But other than that, I really don't really see this car as a practical car, you can call it itself. So yeah, but I'll probably just put on screen right now how much trunk space this vehicle does come with. So yeah, below right there, you guys saw there's a spare tire and some other miscellaneous junk in the vehicle itself. So yeah, but let's say if you want even more space in the vehicle, you could actually just fold down the rear seat by doing by pressing on this lever right here. Okay, this is a bit hard. Yeah, just press on this button right here. This will drop down. Same for the other seat itself. I think based on what I watched online, the earlier C4 Cactus doesn't really have this split seat thing itself, where when you pull down the rear seat, by right, the earlier C4 Cactus, the entire seat will just fold down, just like the Dongfeng box itself. But I think this is a later model, so hence it has the two splitting seats itself when you fold down the rear seat. But also another thing to add on is, if you guys saw based off how the seat, how it looks like when imagine the other seat was down itself, it definitely won't be a flat for itself. So one thing is, I think probably you have to put this thing right. You put that on the first, then you put your item on top, then you'll be a flat floor. But other than that, yeah, not really the best, in my opinion, not really the best trunk space I've seen so far. I feel there's other cars that excel in this category of trunk space itself. So yeah, alright. To close the trunk is very simple itself. Just need to, basically this is the button which I mentioned earlier on. Close, just grab hold just grab hold this side and pull it down itself, and it will just drop itself. So yeah, alright. Now let me just show you guys the rear of the vehicle itself. So the rear of the vehicle itself, before I step in and show you guys the rear of the car, let me just show you guys the window which I mentioned at the start of the video itself. So to open up to roll down the windows or have a slight ventilation in the cabin, you will actually technically have to do this and push this out. Basically how the mechanism works is, basically you just push this, then you push this out, and you have to lock this thing in this position. Then somehow you have some ventilation coming in from here itself, coming from the back of the rear door itself, and it's the same for both sides of the rear door itself. So yeah, but from the looks of it, the quality wise, you can definitely see the latch holding this on is definitely already fallen out. So if let's say you open the door very hard, you can actually technically, you can see there's a gap right here itself, or you open very hard, you can actually see the thing coming up. It's already falling apart, and it's a pity that I don't know whether this was an issue previously, but before it was brought into the fleet, but it's just been I'm not too sure how long it already has been in TribeCar fleet, but you can see it's already starting to fall apart itself. So that's the downside for this car itself. Let me check the other side. I think the other side should still be okay. Yeah, should still be, yeah, it's still okay. So basically you do that, then you just need to lock in there, and that's basically your window itself. Some ventilation coming in itself, really not much, but I'd rather you have no window than some kind of ventilation itself. So yeah, alright, let me just step right into the vehicle right now. So stepping right into the vehicle itself, this is basically what you're being greeted with. Unfortunately, there's no grab handle to grab hold onto if let's say your driver is driving very recklessly. So yeah, good luck to that. only way to, if you want to hold on to something, is just hold on to this part right here, or hold to the driver's seat right in front of you itself. So yeah, but basically in this car is very simple and plain. There's really nothing much to show you guys in the rear, other than some storage pocket right here. Same for the other side. You got a very enormous storage space right here to put your stuff if you want to. If not, you have to technically put some stuff inside here itself. So yeah, and your door is handle to get out of the vehicle. Alternatively, there's also a hook right here to hook your stuff onto if you want to itself. But other than that, it's very basic. There's no armrest at all itself. The only area you want to rest your arm on is this area itself. Other than that, there's really nothing much to show you in this vehicle. It's quite simple. There's no center lighting like some vehicles that come with it normally. So yeah, based off, okay, right now I'll be showing you guys the sitting position for the comfort in the rear itself. So basically this is my current driving position that's being set to. I got about 4 fingers, about 4.5 fingers of legroom space wise. Headroom space wise, I'm almost touching the roof of the vehicle already. I'm 1.7 meters tall, by the way. So headroom space wise is about 3 fingers, 4 fingers, about there. Yeah, it's about 4 fingers for the headroom and 4 fingers for the legroom itself. So you guys, as you guys can see, this is a very compact size vehicle itself. So if you are slightly taller than me, maybe 1.8, you definitely would struggle in this vehicle big time, seriously. So yeah, and that, let me just show you guys the center seating right now. So moving to the center of the vehicle itself, same thing like I just said in my previous video itself for the Nissan Kick. Sitting in the center itself, one thing you definitely do notice is you do not feel a raise in elevation when you sit in the center itself. Some vehicles, when you sit in the center, you can definitely do notice that you are sitting in the middle. Some don't. So yeah, unfortunately for the C4 Cactus, it's the same thing. I don't really feel an indentation when I feel like I'm sitting in the center. I'm still sitting like, I feel like I'm sitting on the left or right hand side behind the driver or passenger side. There's no different shape between where you're sitting at. So yeah, legroom space wise, about maybe a finger, sorry about that, just show my middle finger. Yeah, about 2 fingers of legroom space wise on, like 2 to 3. Yeah, my right is 3 fingers, my left is 2 fingers itself. So yeah, and that's that for the legroom space wise. Headroom space wise, and almost touching the roof itself, so it's about 4 fingers. Basically the headroom, I think if you're, no matter where I'm sitting at, I will be a 4 finger, I'll have 4 finger of headroom space wise. It's only the, I think if you have the sunroof itself, it will be even more worse, because the sunroof does eat into your headroom space wise for this vehicle itself. Yeah, weirdly, one thing I also just noticed is for this vehicle itself, somehow for the front, there's this there's this indentation where you can see that the front people get a slightly more headroom space wise than the rear itself. So yeah, that's the downside. No AC vents or Type A or Type C charging port to charge your phone in the rear. That's a pity. But since this is a very simple car, and Citroen, I think this time main thing they're trying to sell is simplicity. Like they're trying to save weight as much as possible, so they won't add unnecessary stuff into the vehicle itself. So yeah, that's basically it I have to say for this vehicle itself. Now let me just get out of the vehicle and I'll show you guys the front of the vehicle itself. So let's dive straight to that right now. Oh yeah, and this is how the dashboard looks like itself. Very similar to the Dongfeng box, even before the Dongfeng box come out itself. So yeah, let's jump out right now. Alright then, now let's jump into the front of the vehicle itself. So stepping right into the vehicle itself, yeah, this is what you're being greeted with. So starting out with the storage space wise, I would say storage space wise is quite limited, because there isn't really much space you could put your stuff, much places where you can put your stuff. Main thing to start the show is this glove, I would say glove box, but it's storage space right here which you can put your stuff on, which is quite big. I think if I have my small bag, I'm definitely able to put my small bag inside there without any problems at all. Moving along, you got another storage space right here if you want to put your phone or your wallet. You got Type A charging port on one side and a 12-volt socket outlet on the other side as well. Moving along, you got another weird storage space right here. I know this is definitely where you can put your drinks if you want to. These I'm not too sure what you can put itself. And that's basically it. Oh yeah, and it's small right here, which I don't know what you could put it itself, but yeah, that's basically it. You got one good thing, at least either the front passenger or the driver got an armrest you can rest on. But one issue I see it happening is you have some issue with the handbrake, the traditional handbrake, where you have to move your arm around it, which is a bit awkward itself in my opinion. So usually I'll just, if I will be driving and the handbrake is not in operation, then I'll put the armrest down. But if not, I'll always just leave it up because it's much more easier to access the handbrake itself. Moving along, you got your gear selector right here, but you also got the gear pattern right here, which is very weird looking itself. So yeah, you got sports mode and this ice mode, maybe, I'm not sure. Probably I need to figure out later when I turn on the vehicle. So yeah, let's move on to the next one, which is your AC vents right here. Right at the top, you got your infotainment screen with the headlight button, your traction control button, your lock-in button for all the 4 doors in the vehicle, and your front and rear defrost. That's basically that. If you're wondering where the AC control is, well, it's controlled through the screen. That's the downside. So if let's say you turn off the vehicle and you want to adjust temperature, you're not able to do that itself. So that's a pity. Moving along, you got your speedo right there with all the information, which I'll show you guys later on. You got your wheel right here, which is very odd looking. If I'm not wrong, this should be a cruise control right here. Memory, basically all the various function. You got cruise control button right here on the left hand side. So basically this increase and decrease the speed. I think this is to yeah, basically some of the buttons I'm not really that sure, but I'll probably figure out later on. But this side is basically for the infotainment. Let's say you're connected to it, you're able to adjust it via this side. Volume control button right here, and I think this is the list of available radio station or Bluetooth connection, depending what it has. And this is the pickup and call, very simple itself. So yeah, all right. Moving along, you got your this is your light switch stop on the outer trim right here, so you're able to twist to adjust according to your preference, as well as a high beam, which can pull back to flash high beam and push forward to activate high beam itself. So yeah, I think sorry, not push forward. I think there's no function, but you can flash a high beam itself. Indicator just down or up itself, which is very simple itself. On the other side is your front wipers, as well as your rear wiper, which you can adjust via this stop. Rear wiper, just twist this and you're able to adjust it itself. Main wipers, this itself, which all the way up for continuous swiping, or all the way down for stop itself, and one time up for auto wipers itself. So yeah, all right. Last but not least, got your child lock button right here, the dimming of headlight, and your adjusting mirrors right here on either side itself. So if you want to adjust the mirror on the left or right, let me unadjust the right, I just twist this and I just adjust it with this up, down, left or right itself. So yeah, one done, and just go back to the center and it will just go back to its original position. Right on the door cards right here, you just got 2 window switches for the front windows, and that's basically it. And one good thing, at least you got a decent amount of storage space right here for the front, if let's say you want to put your stuff itself. And your door wouldn't handle the gather of the vehicle itself. So yeah, moving along, you got a very nice sun visor with a mirror. Mostly no light itself, light got to rely on this itself. So yeah, same for the passenger side. Passenger side, unfortunately no mirror itself. So yeah, but it can be swivel to one side if you want to itself. So yeah, next up is the center lighting itself. So center lighting is very similar to the current Opel cars that are already reviewed. So basically left or right hand side to on the light. So that's basically that. And this turn on the light, turn off the light, and in the center when the doors are open itself. So yeah, and that is basically it for the vehicle. Now let me just start up the vehicle and show you guys some of the various functions of the vehicle itself. So yeah, alright, so basically this is how the key looks like. Basically you got your lock and unlock function, as well as the hood, the boot release, which you can press it itself. So this is basically just the traditional key, and just slot it in right here and just twist it to turn on the power. Once ready, you can just twist it and the vehicle just start up itself. So yeah, so basically once the vehicle start up, you got all this thing at the side which is off previously when the vehicle is turned off are now available to see. So let's say I want to adjust the temperature, the AC controls is via this button, so I need to press on that and you're able to adjust all your AC controls itself. For the car infotainment and information, you can see right here. Basically you just, it's touchscreen, so you're able to cycle through itself. Your radio is right here, navigation, which is quite useless to be honest. Oh, okay. But basically that and your infotainment switch is right here itself. So yeah, other than that, you got this screen right here which cannot be adjusted, but you got your fuel gauge right at the bottom, your speedo, and your trip information right here itself. But sport mode, just press on that and the S pop out right there itself. If you do not want it, just off it itself. So yeah. Alright then, let me just show you guys how to adjust the steering wheel as well as the seat itself. So to adjust the steering wheel, there's basically this lever right at the far, just need to reach all the way to the far end, and around this area here you can just feel a lever, just pull on that and the steering wheel will drop and you're able to adjust the wheel itself. Once done, you just lock back in and it will just lock itself in itself. To adjust the seat itself, there's two lever. So one of them is right down below here. If you want to adjust how forward or how back the seat is, there's this lever right here. The height of the seat and the angle of the seat is right here. So let me just show you guys that. So it's this right here itself, and right at the back there's this knot which you can twist itself. So yeah, and that is that for the adjustment. Also, one thing I noticed regarding the stop start itself, so basically the stop start for this Citroen C4 is quite short. It's like only 20 seconds and it will just automatically turn on. In my opinion, if you were to rent this car, my best advice is just turn off the stop start, because 20 seconds is not that long compared to some of the other stop start where it may be slightly longer. I didn't time how long it is, but about 30, I think it's slightly longer than the C4 itself. So in my opinion, if you want to just, in my opinion, just turn off the stop start for this vehicle itself. But also I tried out sports mode just now, and in my opinion, I don't really feel the kick in the vehicle itself. Maybe it's already old, that's why there's no kick to it itself, but overall not a pleasant experience using sports mode itself. So yeah, last but not least, I want to show you guys the key as well as the fuel tank. So let me just show you that right now, and that's probably it for this video itself. So let's go to that right now. To access the fuel door itself, there's no lever or anything to pull. So if the fuel tank actually open up the fuel door, just because usually they will press on it, which is the most conventional way of a fuel door itself. For this, just need to lift this area, this cutout right here, and it will open up. And the next thing you know is there's this lock switch here to unlock with the key itself. So just insert the key in and twist it to the left, and it will unlock the fuel tank itself. To do it, once done, just twist it to the right and it will just lock the fuel filter cap in itself. And this is just basically just close it itself. So yeah, that's basically it for the fuel tank itself. So I think this is basically it for this video itself. If you guys enjoyed the video itself, do click the subscribe button down right below to see more videos like this, or click subscribe and click to see my 2 other videos. And with that, I'll see you guys for the next video. Peace.